What's up YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey and this is Uncle Smokey Stock Trades. And before I start this video, I would like to say I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt and do your own DD. Today we're going to talk about Meta Materials Inc. earnings report. Now, I know you guys have been waiting for this probably all night and all day, and I am sorry. It does take a lot of time to break this stuff down. I'm not going to try and confuse anybody too much. I'm going to try and show you guys a couple of the key points inside the earnings report that I want everybody to pay close attention to. And I'm also going to kind of help you guys understand what's going on with the Torchlight situation through the earnings report. So this might interest quite a bit of you. Let's go ahead and start out with what got released first thing last night, right around, I want to call it 10:30ish. So this here is basically the report from Meta stating to the shareholders their basically recap of the year and what you're going to see on the physical report. And this all does reflect what's on the report, so no surprise there. But I highlighted some key things I want you guys to look at because this is important information. This isn't so much of what's going on, but what can be happening. So Meta is currently pursuing multi-year, multi-million-dollar contracts with several OEMs, which basically means that they do have their feelers out there. They've actually are in the works of talking with companies. They're hashing out details, okay? So when they're saying they're pursuing multi-million-dollar contracts with several OEMs, that means they're out there doing some legwork. All aspects of lease obligations for the Torchlight oil and gas assets are in compliance. And we have hired a consultant to help determine the best path to maximize value for the Series A preferred shareholders. Okay, and then you can select here and it'll take you over to the physical financial statements. Now, what I'm gathering from this statement here is that basically that everything that they had to do through Torchlight is still going on as tracked. It doesn't mean that it's completed yet, but they do have a group of consultants in the works with it. So I haven't seen anything come out from the investment group. If you need to refer back to my Torchlight video that I did a few weeks ago, do so. But the investment group should be releasing a statement here before the end of next month about the findings from the backflow and the oil and gas mineral information, I suppose. And that will determine the completion of the acquisition of the Hazel project. Now, that does not necessarily mean that it's going to be the acquisition of the entire Oro Grande project. Again, don't know what's going on with that either. It's kind of closed doors until you hear something. So again, I don't think it's completed 100% yet, but again, there's no way of knowing without seeing a filing. So I keep my ear to the ground and I'm hoping to get some information. Of course, when I know something, you guys will know something. Now here's the next section. On August 5th, the Nanotech Security Corp acquisition, accelerating commercialization of a number of Meta's applications by at least 9 months. So a number does not mean one, it means multiple, 2, 3, 4 of the applications, and they're going to increase their productivity, their commercialization of it, okay? And in 2017, Nanotech won a multi-year $30 million development contract with a confidential top 10 central bank to design a unique nano-optic security feature for a future banknote. And it is in the process of seeking to secure a net phase contract later this year. It is in the process of seeking. Okay, so that means it's not there yet. They're looking to get it. So they've got the multi-year contract, and now they're just in the process to secure the next phase of it. Basically, some bank wants to have their own currency's security layer changed. That's the best way I could put that. Production scale-up. This is the next section. Meta plans to double Nanotech's production capability to approximately 15 million square meters. We're currently at 7 million square meters per year. You can see that right here, 7 million square meters per year. They want to ramp that up over doubling it, okay, and still charging roughly the same amount as what they're currently charging for their nanomaterial that they already have on their store, their web store. Okay, so I haven't done the math. I want to say something like 5 billion, 6 billion, something like that, dollars per year in potential revenue off of one manufacturing facility, off of what we're considering basically the holography technology and the nano web technology. That is a phenomenal amount of revenue. Now remember, this is a forward-looking thing. This isn't set yet because it's not done yet. We don't expect to close until early October, okay? And there is a webcast on here that you can click and go to. All right, and then finally down here, July 6th, we announced the completion of a 27-month-long UK-founded project towards develop the glucose-wise system. Now, I've stressed how much I appreciate this glucose-wise. I have a lot of friends that have diabetes, and they are tired of getting pricked. They're tired of having to have this sensor switched out. I mean, this is non-invasive. This does not take any pricking or anything. This is all done through like a radar technology, kind of, I guess. And to me, that's going to be so beneficial to so many people. Well, anyhow, what they've got here is the novel multi-wave bioscience sensing technology is protected with 2 patent applications filed in 2021. That is this year, and extends the previous research work on this topic, resulting in a total of 5 patent families. Okay, we're going to keep going. Blah, 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 blah. Human trials began in July. And Mmat is in the process of securing an electronics contract manufacturer providing design for manufacturer services. Okay, if you remember correctly, I had told you about this company on the on Lot Network. Something about thermal scientific, I don't know. Those guys, if this is true, if this is the company they're going for, and again, this is speculation, but they're on that Lot Network, so I could see how this would be possible. That would be a great company for them to jump in with to do this. They're very well known, so let's keep our fingers crossed on that one. That's a very, very forward-looking thing that's in the extremely near future, considering we're already in human trials, human testing. Now, remember, there's no medication involved in this, so testing it on a human, I know it doesn't take a whole lot, right? Right. So that's basically all I'm going to concentrate on this. If you guys want to read any more of this, go ahead. This is just basically listing examples of some of the things that they're doing and how they're going to try and proceed forward with it. So, with that being said, let's move over to the physical announcement. So here you'll notice that this basically agrees with that opening statement there on the last page, okay? And again, you can read that if you want to. Non-cash loss of 40 million, net cash used. This was H1 2021 compared to this. So you can keep reading all that, but here's the couple things I really want to look at. So we already knew that Mmat had 155 million in just free cash. This is cash money that they're able to spend towards research and development, company acquisitions, patenting, things like that. There's restricted cash, basically self-explanatory, money they cannot use, grants receivable, accounts receivable. This is all basic stuff, okay? This is what their inventory value is currently compared to what it was December 31, 2020, which isn't a bad thing to see it come down $100,000 in inventory value, meaning they're utilizing some of their inventory. Prepaid expenses of their current assets. Boom. All right, so here's one of the big ones. Assets held for sale. Yes, this is, I believe, exactly what you think it is, but here is how we're going to break it down. So assets held for sale, I do believe, would be the Torchlight asset and possibly some other things. Now, I did look up what the definition is here, and I will, of course, put this in the description of my video so you guys can come and look too. But I want to focus on the key learning points. Assets held for sale are non-current or long-lived assets which a company plans to sell. If a company wants to sell a group of assets in a single transaction, such a group is called a disposal group. There are 6 criteria for assets to qualify as held for sale. Assets held for sale are reported at the lower of the carrying amount and fair value, less cost to sell. Such assets are not depreciated. So basically the way I interpret that, and I'm going to interpret to you, is this is the lowest costs that they're going to sell Torch assets for, not the technical value. Okay? So that is how I am interpreting this. And again, if I am wrong, please somebody correct me. I don't want to misinform, but from my gatherings today, that's how I'm reading it. Now, here's the next thing. This is something totally new to me. This only happens with mergers, basically, or, the purchasing of companies. Goodwill. So there's positive goodwill and negative goodwill. And a positive goodwill is basically the money's spent on an acquisition. And a negative goodwill is the money's underspent on an acquisition, meaning if it was overspent, they overpaid the value of the acquisition in hopes that it will pay itself off in the end, compared to the true net value. Where a negative goodwill is they spent less than what the company was potentially worth, getting a bargain during a time of distress. And we absolutely know that Torchlight acquisition was during a time of distress. COVID-19 was going on, running rampant, and their stock was getting shorted into delisting. Okay? So, we got a hell of a deal on Torchlight, and I do 100% firmly believe, my opinion, that this is the value less paid for Torch. We got a hell of a deal. Now, this is not what I would consider what we're going to get as far as a dividend payment goes. This is not the total. I think this is what this, or what we paid for Torchlight, I should say, what we physically paid for Torchlight, plus this is the true value of Torchlight, okay, at the time of acquisition. The time of acquisition, not right now, okay? So, in my true opinion, this number can be greatly different, and pardon my excitement, and it sounds like my excitement, because it absolutely is, because this is putting our dividend right now, roughly, if my numbers are right, and they could be totally wrong, roughly $3 to $4, which is really good. I think it's better than what a lot of people are expecting. But again, I don't want anybody to take this with absolute certainty. This is my interpretation. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to show you Goodwill. Okay, so negative goodwill. Business negative goodwill is a term that refers to the bargain purchase amount of money paid when a company acquires another company or its assets for significantly less their fair market value. Negative goodwill will generally indicate that the selling party is distressed or has declared bankruptcy and faces no other option but to unload its assets for a fraction of their worth. We bought Torch at a fraction of its worth. I thoroughly believe that this is negative goodwill, which is allowing us to say that we technically have $461 million, $500 million in assets, okay? Whether they be intangible or tangible, they're assets. That makes this company very valuable, okay? Once that the Torch stuff has been finalized and the assets have been liquidated and sent off, which again, if we go back over to here, it states that that may be in the process right now, right here, okay? Yeah, my mind is blown, guys. Okay, my mind is blown. I've been trying to make sense of this all morning for you. I've been doing a lot of research. I've actually got emails sent out to Meta themselves. I'm waiting for an email back to confirm all of this. But this is the major thing. This is the major takeaway I'm getting from this. All of the rest of this stuff is blah. I mean, this is stuff that's in every single earnings report. You're going to see this, and it's relatively insignificant. This preferred stock liability is the biggest number on here, and I know people are going to go, "Oh, Uncle Smokey, what is that?" Preferred stock. The company holds X amount of preferred stock that they can use for kind of like I guess liquidity purposes. It's actually more of a debt than an equity, but they listed it in an equity, so I don't know. Anyhow, I wouldn't look too much at this number here. Ignore it. Basically, it's I want to say 16th of the importance of this entire thing. I think the importance of this entire thing is right here. I think what we're looking at right here. Assets held for sale and the goodwill. I think between these two, these are what we really need to be concentrating on. Now, like I had said before, and I've said it many times now, the earnings report wasn't what we were looking for as far as a catalyst goes. And you can tell by the chart today so far that it definitely wasn't a catalyst. Okay, it popped up first thing in the morning and then gap filled and actually overcorrected. Okay, so, and we'll get to that later, much later. But what I wanted the earnings to do is, number one, shed a little bit of light on what's going on with Torch, and it did. Okay, and then let's go down here and look at the revenue and show you that we're doing well. Okay, let's see here. Revenue, sorry, right here. All right, so this time last year, yeah, it looks like we did a little bit better. But again, we've been buying companies up. We're in research and development. You know, we're still producing. Okay, so no big deal. I think that's probably where I'm going to wrap it up right now. I don't have a whole lot else I want to go over on this. I'm still going through some of it. I did want to wrap up some of the questions that I've been seeing already today. And again, mainly being over the Torch information that was given. And I think I was able to help you guys. And if I was, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course pass it on to your friends. If I wasn't able to help you and I was totally wrong, leave me a comment below so that way I can most definitely research and correct myself, okay? With that being said, I'm done with you guys for right now. I'm going to try and put a video out tonight. Maybe I'll clarify a little bit more on that. For now, peace.